Using audio with Java is very simple than you think. In this video, you learn how to play audio, pause audio and resume audio, and how to adjust audio volume. Keep in mind that the only supported format is WAV. For other formats like MP3, you will need extra or external extensions. But don't worry, you can convert any format to WAV online and for free. We need to create two classes for our audio project. Our first class is very simple and short. Its only purpose is to read and to decode an audio file and to acquire control over it. We need three variables, one to store audio data clip, one to store volume controls, and a float variable with a value of -10, which means a sound volume of 100% that we are going to apply as default when we play the sound. We leave the constructor empty. We don't need to instantiate anything right away. Instead, we define a void method with a string parameter. Within a try and catch clause, we read our file and decode its data. We acquire volume control of that file and set the default volume to -10. Call the method start to play the sound. With that done, we can move to the main class, which extends from JFrame and implements Action Listener. Create an object of our first class, a JPanel object and 4 JButton objects. We need a variable of type long to track the position of time of our audio when we pause, so we can resume from that position after restarting playing the sound. In the constructor, we define basics of our window. We construct our objects and name the buttons accordingly. Bind them to the action listener that we're going to define below. Add the buttons to the panel and then add panel to our window. Create the window in the main static method. And now, we come to the crucial part where we make things happen. We override the action performed method so that our buttons can trigger the events associated with the audio. If the playSound button is clicked for the first time, the first if statement is read and we call the method playSound with the file name as a parameter. The sound will start playing. If it is not the first time that we click the playSound button, the second if statement is read. This means two things. One, it is because we paused the sound somewhere and we want to resume playing it, or two, the file simply reached the end and we want to restart playing again. This is why it is important to define an anonymous event listener for our sound in the playSound button's action event, as it not possible to do so if the sound object is null. This particular event is triggered when the audio is stopped. There are two instances where this happens: when we call the built-in stop method at any moment, or the audio reached its end and the stop method is triggered automatically. In case we call the stop method, we want to register the time play position in microseconds at this moment and store it in our variable. This needed so we can resume playing from that position. If the stop method is called automatically, we reset our time play position to 0. Notice that there is no particular way to differentiate between the two stops. They are the same, but we can compare the frame position at the moment the call to the frame length of the audio file. If they are equals, then this means the file reached the end. Frames are also called audio samples. For the stop button, if it is clicked, we simply call the stop method on the audio file to pause it. The if statement is only to avoid making unnecessary call. So we call the stop method only if the audio is running. The same principle applies for almost all our if statement in this action performed method. Code is executed only if our objects are not null. This can also help us avoid crashing our program if we call methods on empty and undefined objects. If sound up button is clicked while the volume object is not null, we increase the audio volume by 5 decibels. We should not exceed the maximum, which is 6. If sound down button is clicked while the volume object is not null, we decrease the audio's volume by 5 decibels. We cannot go lower than -80. You can also make the sound loop as many times as you want by calling the loop method on the sound. If you want to loop forever, pass the clip.loop continuously as a parameter. Time to test our program. The program worked as it should. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.